Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, August 29th to Saturday, September 4th. So last week we had that full moon in Aquarius. It was the second full moon in Aquarius that really helped illuminate for us some aha moments that we needed, some details, some information that we were lacking in order to provide an ending, a closure, a releasing point to some old topics, some old themes, some old ideas, and some old dreams. It also brought in a lot of electricity to our earth plane, to our energetic bodies, shocking us with a sudden shift in our perspective, in our direction, and giving us a really good energy to work with because we were able to detach a little bit more emotionally to see the details, to see the possibilities, to see the opportunities that await us. Of course, we jumped into Virgo season, many of us feeling the dramatic shift of that particular energy. Of course, Virgo season, very weighted in earth energies, really did kind of slow us down. Really forced us to be in our physical bodies, forced us to take a good look at our physical environments, what it is that needed to be reorganized, restructured, cleaned up. We really have to concentrate on tying up the loose ends of some of the topics, themes, chapters that we're moving away from before allowing all of this new energy, bringing in new cycles, new timelines, new contracts to actually have a neat and tidy space to take form and to manifest. That energy shift has been very abrupt for many because, of course, we were flying high in Leo season. We had all kinds of fire energy backing us. And then now we are limited in fire energy. We have to get down to business, come back down to earth, and take a logical and practical approach to making things happen. We had a lot of solar activity last week that really put a huge emphasis, a huge intensity on some of the ascension symptoms that, of course, our bodies are going through as things ramp up in the cosmos and as new electromagnetic frequencies actually reach the Earth. This week, we're going to continue with the solar flares, with the cosmic weather. Of course, we're seeing some very strange and unusual patterns in the weather around the globe and the weather in our physical bodies. Many of us becoming a little bit more hypersensitive to the energies coming in. And every single time that Mother Earth, Gaia herself, kind of upgrades in frequency, you best believe that we feel every single shift. So this week we have Mercury, the ruler of the mental plane, ruling over how it is we bring information in, how that changes our perspective, how we communicate our thoughts and ideas outward, moving out of his place in power in Virgo. Thank goodness, because our minds are ready to explode with all the new information we've been processing, and moving into Libra. Now, this is really going to help us kind of balance the scales, take the intensity off of our mental plane. It is going to put us in a position where we get to kind of debate the different options now kind of available to us. We're going to be able to kind of do what is right, do what is fair between our heart and our head. And it's going to give us a beautiful opportunity to actually speak up, to speak out, to communicate our new thoughts, realizations, our new focuses with a lot more confidence, with a lot more ease. And realistically, we just want to lighten the mood. It's been very heavy in the mental plane, a lot of pressure in the mental plane. And right now, we have the information, we have the details to work with. Now we just need to sort out what is going to work best, what is the best approach to making the plans, making the commitments that we are now in alignment with in order to actually bring our new realities to life. We have the last quarter moon taking place in Gemini, and we also have the moon in Gemini conjuncting with her own true node. This is going to be a blast of information, a blast of energy, really solidifying for us what path we are taking, which one over the other. It is really going to rattle our perspective, jolt us a little bit more further down the path of actually seeing the bits and pieces, the puzzle pieces that we've been talking about, come together, click together, reveal a little bit more of the picture that we've been actively working so hard at putting together. We have been going through a very deep adjustment period. Adjustment periods are never fun. We are very uncomfortable, very awkward, very pressure filled with anxiety, with excitement, because we know that there are a lot of changes happening. And for many of us, it can feel very overwhelming, especially with all these new revelations, new insights, new information coming in, really jolting us in a different perspective. So we're also going to be building towards the new moon in Virgo taking place on the 6th. We can't even talk about the new moon in Virgo without addressing the fact that we're about to jump into a brand new month. September brings a brand new lesson for us. It is when new adventures begin. It is when we are elevating ourselves to the 2.0 versions of ourselves. We have new beliefs. We have a new perspective. We're optimistic. We're confident. We are literally going after what it is that we want, what it is we need, what it is that we desire, that we established a couple of moon cycles ago. So it is going to be a very interesting week. It is going to be a jolt of consistent energy. And let me just throw out there that from now until we have the equinox, we really are going to be blasted not only with electromagnetic frequencies coming in from the cosmos, all in attempt, of course, to raise the vibration of Mother Earth and everything on it, but we're also going to be blasted with a lot of pressurized change, a lot of adjustments. We are really going to feel the pressurized energy push us, whether we want to or not, push us down the new path, aligning ourselves to what it is that our heart and soul has already identified that needs to happen. And of course, being in 2021, we are in the number of 5, and that life path lesson of number 5 is an adjustment period. Many of us tend to shy away from adjustment periods, but like we have been discussing, back in Leo season, under the new moon in Leo, with the Lionsgate portal opening up, we had the opportunity to pick one timeline over the other. Many of us chose to evolve instead of revolve, staying in the same old situation, complaining, not making any changes, but expecting different results. Because we have committed to evolving, we are now seeing the paths unfold. We are now seeing the pressurized situations unfold where we have to boss up. We have to get our hands dirty. We have to find peace and comfort in the chaos as of right now until we get things in order and until we get things situated. So definitely stay tuned for September's forecast, which will launch on September 1st. And of course, the Zodiac, Astro, and Tarot forecasts will drop at that time as well. These give you a huge heads up on what you can expect as we move through a brand new month. And for those of you who have tuned into the August energy forecast and the Zodiac Astro Toro forecast for August, it might be a good thing to go back and take another listen, see how things chalked up, see how things lined up, and really give yourself the validation that you are more in alignment with the cosmos than what it is that you initially thought. So, jumping into the Ascension symptoms of this week, we have a couple things to talk about that kind of floated over from last week. I did want to, first of all, send a huge shout out to every single one of you who joined me in the chat. I love doing these live chats Friday nights to be able to connect with all of you and to actually see y'all connect with each other. I love seeing all of us show up at this particular point in time from all around the world and really make these connections to other light workers, to other spiritual warriors, to validate for ourselves that we're not alone. I 100% appreciate all the love, all the support for liking, for sharing, for commenting, for showing up and spending your time, your energy with me each and every single day that you tune into these energy forecasts. So with that being said, there are a couple of things that I want to address as far as the Ascension symptoms for last week. Many people have said that the intensity of these energy symptoms are getting to the point where they feel like they're cracking. They feel like they have to go seek medical attention. And let me just put it out there, disclaimer, if you ever feel the need to go seek medical attention, by all means do so. However, many of us are finding that it is a wasted trip. First of all, there's nothing really being diagnosed because there's nothing physically or biologically, chemically taking place in our bodies that medicine doctors are able to actually see, actually work with, actually diagnose. There are many people around the world right now recognizing the fact that their physical bodies are in complete distress. You know, especially last week, we had a lot of pressure in the kidneys, a lot of lower back pain. That's where your kidneys are. When we have kidney issues, for sure, want to freak out. We want to see what's wrong with us. We want to seek medical attention. But just remember that going through a cleanse, going through a purge, trying to get old, outdated, fragmented energy out of our bodies requires us to step up our health and wellness game. If you are feeling that there is pressure in your kidneys, you have to up your fluids. The only way to get toxic energies out of your organs is to flush them out. I know that it is a natural thing that we have an owie in our body. We want to go seek medical attention about it, get some kind of prescription, get a Band-Aid to put over the issue. But you have to understand this is stored trauma. This is stored emotions. This is energy blockages that will not show up on any kind of medical testing unless you are seeing an integrative health specialist that really takes a good look at the mind, body, soul, and how all these systems interact. You're likely not going to come up with anything. It's wasted time, and you're putting yourself in a situation right now where sitting in an ER or a walk-in clinic, you have more of a chance of leaving with something than you do of actually resolving whatever it is that you showed up there to address. So again, I will never ever say, don't see a doctor, because that's just silly. If you feel the need to do so, by all means do it. But recognize that it's likely a wasted trip. We have the energy, we have the knowledge, we have the wisdom within us to allow our bodies to heal. We have to recognize where the energy blockages are so that we can address that particular area of the body. There are remedies, there are homeopathic, there are health alternatives that we can tap into to decrease the physical symptoms that we are experiencing from the energies coming in. A lot of people were talking about the kidney issue, the lower back issue, the pain in the legs, the trembling heart. All of that is the electromagnetic frequencies coming into the earth. May I remind you that we as physical people are energy sources. We have electric currencies running through our body all the time. Our heart keeps the electricity going through our bodies. Every single thought, every single aspect of our physical bodies are run on electric currency in our brains, in our heart space. We have to understand that we are battery sources for the greater, grander cosmos. That's why it's so important to have a mental focus in your consciousness so that we're pouring into the good energy. We're feeding the good energies of the cosmos, and we're not feeding into fear. We're not feeding into those darker sources. We have to also understand that we are plugged into Mother Earth. She is her own organism. She is her own consciousness. She is awakening after years and years of being suppressed by all kinds of masculine forces. We have to recognize right now that the masculine energy on this earth is weakening in order for the feminine divine energy to wake it up and take the power back, right? We have Mother Earth, Father Sky. For the longest time, the feminine divine energy has been suppressed. We almost lost her a couple of years ago. That's why the Great Awakening is taking place right now, because she was on the verge of dying and she received a huge blast of energy from the cosmos, from the war going on in the cosmos between the light and dark forces, in order to bring her back to life. And ever since that life monitor started having a pulse again, she has been strengthening her own vibration. She has been leveling up each and every single day to a brand new frequency. And that is why we are experiencing these energetic shifts. We are plugged into Mother Earth through our feet chakras. There are more than just 7 of the energy centers, the chakra systems, than what we are kind of led to believe. And when you dive into energy work, you will understand that there are way more energy points in our physical bodies, and the soles of our feet are kind of like acting as the plug. If we are, a charger, if you will, we are plugged into Mother Earth. We are getting power and vibrations and frequencies and wisdom from her. And of course, we're the conduit, bringing information and energy signals in from the cosmos through our physical bodies, pouring into the earth, and she is pouring back into us. So there is a lot of energy conducting going on, and we are the conduit for that energy to bridge the gap between Mother Earth and Father Sky. This particular shift in time, shift in vibration, shift in frequency is putting an ending to history and shifting us into a time where we can make her story. Okay, we've been dominated by the masculine forces for eons now, and now the goddess herself, the feminine divine, Mother Earth, is back to fight for her particular position in this cosmic war, and she's raising the vibration, raising the frequency. She's coming back to life, and she's bringing a brand new level of energy to every single thing that is connected to her energy source. And that, my friends, also includes us. So with that being said, there's a lot of pressure going on in the body. We have to understand that we are given these solar flares. We're having these galactic storms in the cosmos because every single thing in our universe is leveling up. We, as the human experiment, have never been this far in this particular game, right? A couple of weeks ago, I talked about how this is the first time humanity, the collective, Mother Earth herself, has ever gotten this far in the video game. We are technically winning because we're on the board. We're on that chessboard. We are a key player now. We thought we were going to be overcome by the negative dark forces. Nope, that's not the case. The light is now not only on the game board, not only standing up and giving a good fight to those dark forces, but we are winning. It might not look like that because when you take a look around at the physical realm of Earth and what is going on right now, it kind of looks like hell on Earth. It looks like hell on Earth because the dark forces know that they are in a losing battle. They are bringing out all the stops right now. They are desperately trying to throw every single catastrophe, every single challenge to Earth to get us all in a state of fear. Why? Because fear is a lower vibration that the dark forces feed off of. In the cosmic realm, this war has already been won. The light has already won. That's why if you are a light worker, you already know, despite the chaos going on in this physical plane around you, that things are going to be okay, that this is part of the process, that we have to watch things break down before we can break through. And there's going to be multiple years of things being shattered, things being destroyed in order for us to rebuild this life for the people. Right now, we're being governed under a very small group of powerful people that have nothing but their best interests at heart. You can see right now the rebellion, the independence, the want, need, and desire to stand up and fight for our freedoms. You can see this as a domino effect all around the earth. But it also looks pretty scary out there. It looks pretty ugly. There's lots of pain. There's lots of suffering. There's lots of heartache. That is all an attempt to keep us paralyzed in a low vibrational state where we're feeding into the dark forces. So every single time as a light worker that your heart is just being squeezed right to death by the pain, by the trauma of what's going on in the world, you have to recognize, am I willing to pour into these dark forces like they want me to do, or can I rise above this? And you know what? Although it's exhausting, although we've kind of been beat up and battered, the battlefield of light workers right now has never been more beautiful. So I want to thank you for showing up. I want to thank you for your continued effort, despite what's going on in your physical realms, to show up every single day and try to keep the vibration high. It's exactly what we need right now. So with the Ascension symptoms, yes, the digestive issues are going to continue. That comes with Virgo season. Virgo season, again, rules over the digestive system. It brings a lot of anxiety. It brings a lot of nervousness. It brings a lot of worry. For many of us, like I talked about last week, we had a huge quote unquote release of some of that toxic matter that we were holding onto in our digestive systems around the same time as the full moon in Aquarius. It is very typical around full moons to release, to let go of all of the bodily yuckiness that we are holding on to. Many of us hold on to this subconsciously and create energy blockages within us because we have a hard time processing the new information, the new realities, the new cycles that are emerging in our physical realms. So the digestive issues are going to continue throughout Virgo season. I feel like there is more kind of sporadic cramping. There is more kind of congestion in our lower backs because of our bowels. And this week, I feel like we're going to move away from the hardness or the stagnancy in our kidneys, but we're actually going to have some very strange, some very weird sensations in the bladder. Now, this might mean that you feel a very strong sense of urgency to go to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden, there isn't the amount there coming out of you that you thought, based off of the feeling of pressure, that there was going to be. Don't hold it, okay? We want to purge. You may notice, and I know this is TMI, but we got to talk about this, people. You got to notice the change in color, smell, consistency, frequency in the output of the toxins that you are expelling out of your body. You have to kind of put the good things in your body, like water, teas, supplements, tinctures, in order to help the process. But we are going to be feeling bladder pressure. We are going to see bladder frequency increase. We are going to be feeling bladder spasms as well. Again, there's a lot of pressure going on in our digestive systems, in our bowels. There's a lot of bloating happening because we're reacting to foods that we've been eating for a long time now, but our bodies don't know how to process it anymore. Why? Because every single time we level up, we require more refined, clean type of diets. If you are still putting sugar, red meat, processed foods, all of these heavy weighted yuckiness that our bodies were not built to process into your body, you best believe that you're going to have a tougher time with these ascension symptoms. We are light bodies. We need to create a physical form where our bodies are as light as possible. We have to be eating light meals so that our bodies don't have to work as hard to process the gunk that we put in it. So we are going to be feeling a lot of pressure in our lower, extremities because of the buildup of pressure taking place in our bladder, in our bowels, bloating, all kinds of uncomfortable symptoms, going through the detox process of clearing out some of these old energies and biological yuckness that our physical bodies just do not need to hold on to any longer. So this week, and you probably noticed it start kind of midweek last week, there are some lung issues taking place. And this is a major concern for a lot of people because it mimics a lot of the symptoms that, of course, are being thrown out in the world right now as a scare tactic, as a fearing, controlling method to kind of keep you in those lower vibrations. You know what I'm talking about. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I'm not saying it on here because my channel will get flagged, and that's not what is happening here. So keep in mind that a lot of the Ascension symptoms replicate a cold and a flu. And because the symptoms of the quote unquote, funky little fear tactic disease out there have the same qualities, have the same characteristics, we want to just be mindful that we're not freaking out because the similarities are very, very alike. But we are going to have some fluctuations in our lungs. This may feel like your lungs are heavy, like they're tight. There might be a shortness of breath. There might be a constant want, need, and desire to fill your lungs with air. Now, keep in mind and just kind of see that, in fact, our breath is our life force for our physical bodies. We have to have breath coming in order for the electrical system in our bodies, in our hearts, in our heads, in our brains to continue to function. So we have to be very cautiously aware of our breath work this week. Now, the phlegm is going to continue. We've been talking about the phlegm building up and the constant clearing of the throat, the constant, abrupt coughing just to get this sticky, congested type of phlegm out of our bodies. This is going to continue, but this week, it kind of gets stuck more in the throat. We're having some serious throat activations here. Again, Mercury moving out of Virgo into Libra, ruling over communication, which essentially is the throat chakra. So the phlegm that we're bringing up out of our lungs, out of our body, is going to get stuck in the throat chakra. It can come out of nowhere. You can be just speaking and feel like there's no congestion, nothing going on. And then all of a sudden the words don't come out because it's being blocked by this phlegm ball. It's very disgusting. It's very gross, but we got to do our due diligence to get it up and to get it out. The throat chakra is going to be on a major focus this week because Mercury is on the move. There is going to be a dryness, a scratchiness in the back of the throat connected to the sinuses. You can feel that running in the back of your throat. There's this constant need to clear your throat, and there's a constant need to be eating something because that feels like it's soothing. It's coating the back of the throat and it's taking away that itchiness, that scratchiness, that, overall uncomfortable sensation that I wish, you could put your fingers down your throat and itch it, but unfortunately we can't. So we resort to eating certain types of foods that are going to provide a little bit of relief there. We have a lot going on in our heart chakras this week, but here's the weird thing about it. We're moving out of the chest because, again, that chest, that lung tightness is more focused on our breathing, on the intake of oxygen that we're able to get in. The heart chakra is being activated, busted open in a different way this week. And I want you to pay attention to where it is that you feel your heart beating in your body. So one might say, okay, well, your heart beats in your chest, Marley. What are you talking about? No, I'm talking about feeling your heartbeat in one particular toe, or feeling your pulse spasming in your knee. There are certain times where we feel our pulse, our heartbeat in different areas of our body very intensely. I want you to pay attention to where this is showing up into your body, because this is indicating for us where it is that the energy blockages are building up and where it is that we have to pay a little bit more attention on how to clear those energy blockages from that particular part of the body. Now, headaches, head pressure, dizziness, spinning, vertigo, all of these have been classic type of ascension symptoms for many moons now. It is something that happens right out of the blue where our world literally feels like somebody picked it up and just shook us like a snow globe. We are having more and more occurrences of losing our balance, even though we're in earth energy and we should be stable, we should be feeling grounded. We are going through a lot of information processing in our physical mental planes. And because of that, there are like jolts of energy coming in through the crown, really creating a lot of dizziness, a lot of vertigo. Literally, we could lose our balance. Pay attention that you do not fall. With this head pressure, of course, our sinuses are being activated, our allergies are being activated. That is a biological situation that our conscious mind needs in order to fully accept that there is something going on with the body. Many of us have a hard time saying, oh, well, it's just the energy. It's just the solar flares. It's just the electromagnetic frequency coming in from Gaia. For many of us, we need to say that we have a physical symptom, such as, my allergies are acting up, or I think I'm getting a cold, or I went swimming and there's water still stuck in my ears, right? These are physical characteristics that we need in our conscious mind to be able to actually process the fact that these are physical manifestations of the energy coming in. Now, water in the ears, not so much, but it's a little bit muffled. Our ears are muffled. There are higher frequencies that we're attuned with right now and aligned with right now that our physical bodies cannot receive as of yet. So it's almost like our guides, the cosmos, the universe, source says, you know what? They're not really able to handle this frequency rate yet. Let's just put a muffle, a veil over their ears and just provide them with a little bit of padding, a little bit of oomph in order to filter the high frequencies that they need a little bit of time to adjust to. So we are going to be feeling like there's, like we have earplugs in, or we're wearing headphones just to kind of block out some of the higher frequencies that we're not able to make sense of yet. We're not able to receive in a comfy way. There is going to be sudden jolts of access energy. We have a lot of energy and planetary alignments bringing in a lot of electricity. Uranus is electricity. Mercury funnels that into our lower intellect. Of course, Uranian energy is all about the central nervous system. And here's the thing. We're lacking fire in the cosmos right now. Fire is that burst of energy. It is the physical drive, the passion that we need in order to take action. And we're lacking that. If you take a look at the current planetary rundown, it is nothing but earth and air. What do we get with earth? Our physical realms, our physical manifestations, making changes to our physical body, to our physical environment based off of the air element, the ideas, the visions, the dreams, the logic, the planning. So we're bringing a lot of information in through the crown. There's a lot of pressure in the head because we're having to sort things out. And then we can channel that energy into our physical bodies to take action, make things happen in our physical realm. But we are going to get these energy bursts. It's almost like we power up. We go into a manic state for a couple of hours. We get shit done. We're hella excited. We're hella optimistic. And then all of a sudden we die. Our battery packs are just dying. And so we do have to learn how to monitor our energy just a tad bit better. With these sudden energy bursts comes what many of us would describe as anxiety. I want to open your mind a little bit. We have the ability to label whatever our energy situation is based off of our knowledge, our wisdom. Many of us would say that the energy, the uncontrollable energy inside of us is anxiety. It could be excitement if you chose to go into that vibration, because there is a very thin line between excitement and anxiety. Anxiety is the inability to predict the future. Excitement is a grounding point of finding peace and comfort in the chaos. So where we're going through this huge adjustment period right now, and where there are some dramatic changes taking place in our physical realms, yes, of course, It creates anxiety, but I invite you to label it excitement. Change the perspective, change the frequency, change the vibration. We don't have to be an anxious mess all the time, although Virgo season does kind of predominantly put us in that state of being. All we need to say is, wow, I feel a lot of energy in my body. I don't know what to do with it. It's very restless. Maybe I'm just freaking excited. Maybe I'm going to stand in excitement instead of standing in nervousness and anxiety. So we have the ability right now to pick the vibration that we are going to pour into. With these sudden bursts of energies, I want you to recognize that we're going to have some muscle spasms, especially in our calves, in our upper thighs, because we are making strides forward. We are taking baby steps, but there is this need to kind of stretch our muscles, to strengthen our muscles, to physically exert ourselves, to channel this quote unquote nervous anxiety, excitement energy through our physical bodies so that we're not just sitting in it, letting it bounce around. We're actually being productive. We're funneling this energy into our physical form. And because of that, we're really going to be needing to stretch our legs, stretch our muscles, really kind of clench up and then release that energy to see where it is that the blockages are kind of living in our lower extremities. I did talk about the feet. We're connected into Mother Earth. She's raising her vibration. We're raising our vibration. And if our feet were the plug, I just want you to pay attention to the sensations coming in the bottom of the feet. Again, our feet, our soul, SOLE, chakras, right? We could have hot feet. We could have pins and needles in our feet. There could just be a really strange sensation coming in our feet. And all of that is because we are upgrading, trying to match the vibrations of Mother Earth, of Gaia. We are plugged into her. And the more natural earthing that we can do, which is bare feet on grass or in sand or just plain on earth, that is going to help us with the adjustment going on in our physical bodies to adapt to the vibration and frequency that Mother Earth is constantly raising for us. This week, I want you to pay attention to skin irritations. This could be, breakouts on your face, sudden bouts of acne, little bit of a heat rash, little tiny bumps that are maybe sore, maybe itchy. This is a good indicator that we are releasing. Anytime that we have skin irritation, skin, issues, that is the detoxing phase, the purging phase, the cleansing phase of getting things out of our organs. Our skin is the largest organ that we have. And by the time we are seeing some disruptions or eruptions on the skin, you best believe that we have done the work to free it up in our organs, in our, inside system. And now we're seeing the results of that be expelled from our physical bodies. So although it might be a little bit uncomfortable, it's an absolute good sign for us right now that we are purging, we are cleansing. The last thing that I want to talk about is the fact that we are losing space and time. We are disassociating. We are feeling floaty, like we're, in a higher realm, and then bam, sucked back into our physical body. We are more kind of leaning towards the logical and practical approach of our brains instead of the imagination, the vision, the intuition. But there is this dramatic push and pull where we could be very weighted, we could be stuck in the moment, then all of a sudden we're floating off into space to get a bigger, grander vision of what's going on here. We need a little bit of a pep talk from higher self, and then bam, we get sucked back into the physical body as well. This is creating time lapses where we're losing track of time. This is also creating what I'd like to call memory lapses where, it could be the easiest word that we use a million times a day, but for some reason, we can't speak it. We can't get it out of our mouth. It is on the tip of our tongue, but we can't pull it out of our brain. This, quote unquote, little bout of memory lapse or amnesia, if you will, is a reconfiguration of the new light codes taking place in the brain. Like I said, the brain is an electricity source. It is constantly sending electrical impulses and signals to the rest of our physical bodies, and it is adapting to the information coming in from the cosmos in through our crown, relating to the higher octave of our intuition, where visions and dreams and imaginations are concerned, and bringing it into the lower level intellect that Mercury rules over, bringing it into the physical form where logic and practicality is the name of the game. So don't get freaked out when you forget, like, your partner's name, or you forget the word that, we call a banana, for example, like easy peasy things that we should have a good, quick response to. Being able to label something so easy, we're forgetting about it. Don't be too hard on yourself. We are literally breaking the matrix of time and space. It is okay to forget some common things every now and then. It is not an urgent thing to address. Just go with the flow. Just recognize that you are doing the inner work needed to recalibrate the memories, the thoughts, the wisdom, the knowledge, the information coming in through your crown. So that kind of summarizes what we can expect as far as Ascension symptoms go this week. Again, want to remind you, stay tuned for the September forecast dropping on the 1st for the whole month. For the collective, and of course the zodiac forecast as well. I really invite you, because we're moving into a new month, to subscribe to the Moon Guide, or just simply keep doing what you're doing. Join me here each and every day. Get a heads up on the cosmic energy weather, and of course stay ahead of the game. Thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for commenting, and thank you for spending your time and energy with me each and every day. I hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.